weird things on my computer. Okie dokie. I love seeing the numbers go up over there. Oh, well, I'll get the cards warmed up for everybody, I guess. That's the best thing to do, isn't it? While we're sitting around waiting. Hope everybody's doing well. We're all just organising going back to work, so that's something different, isn't it? And the nail salons are open this week. Hey, how are you, Hayley? Hey, Jules, how you going? Long time no see. I was just saying the nail shops are open this week. All the beauticians are open. You can go and have some beauty work done. Hey, Jane, how are you going? I was going to pull some cards, so let's do that first. Yep, there we go. And we got 2 again. All righty. Massage, yeah, and their haircut. Mine's only these. I mean, as you can see, they're obviously, my nails just don't grow. They are just, that's it. That's how I am. The only thing that's good is I can clean my ears out with no nails on, and I can scratch my eyes with no nails on. Hello, Susan. How you going? Hi, Gigi. Jane, by the way, thanks to Jane, we worked out how to do a Zoom yesterday. So I'm going to be sending out everybody. And well, I probably, how am I going to do that? What I want to do, I'll wait till everybody gets on here. But oh, my little stars. What I'm going to get everybody to do is email me at a certain email address so that I can send you back an application for the Zoom. And we'll go from there, because I'm going to use a different email. I set a new email address, or I've found an old email address that I've set up for the new group. And I'll send that out to everybody. So what I'll get you to do, hey, Lauren, Jody, how you going? What I'll get you to do is I'll get you to write an email address down, and I'll try and do it before we finish so everybody gets the email address. If you've got a pen handy, if not, grab one now, and I'll give you the email address. You can write to me, and I'll put your email address in a separate file just for the Saturday, we're presuming it's Saturday group. I feel fabulous, thanks, Susan. I'm still a little croaky, still have asthma, but that's fine. I feel much better. Have a bit of colour. But still got a bit of the asthma. But I was speaking to a guy I know, and he'd had a needle done too, and it was the first time he's ever had one done. And he said that he's known a lot of people who've got sick from this particular flu needle that have been having them for a long time. So I don't know what went into this one. It was obviously different. But anyway, at the end of the day, I'd rather have a flu needle than the flu. Okay, so I pulled out the bear and the hyena. I don't think we've had the hyena for, so let's see if we can find. He's not an air creature, is he? Okay, elephant. When I haven't seen a card before, sometimes the pages get a little stuck together. So there he is. Okay, so we have the bear and the hyena. Now I've got them both ready. Did I miss anybody coming on? Hey, Stacey, how you going? No, I think I've got everybody. Just watched day 70. Okay, so if you're interested in joining us for the group, I will come back a bit later, but the email address for the group application, and what I'll do is I'll send everybody a bit of a question or something and put you into a separate group so that when we do decide what time and day to run our Zoom group, I'll do that on a day when I'm not doing this. So I'm not doing too much every day because it's getting a bit challenging trying to fit everything in. My application for part-time work only actually went today after waiting for the last few weeks, but anyway, we won't talk about that. Had a few spews today. But if you want to write down my email address for the group, the G gang, is Yvonne Denise, so YVONNEDENISE 2017 bear@gmail.com. Now, if anything should happen, you can write to the other email addresses and I can give you that one. But I'm going to try and set it up as a completely separate thing. Okay. Whew, the bear. This is about waking from spiritual slumber and beginning anew. So after a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual guest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles, but you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. Beautiful. So, as I said, I keep them all separate so you know where we're up to, and I'm probably going to still limit the amount in the group. So we'll see how we go, and then you'll just get a regular email, and you can join whenever you want to. Okay, but I think I can have up to 100 people in a group, but 100 would be too much. We'd never get to talk. Oh, we have 111 on the screen up ahead of me. Okay, the hyena. Okay, this is about humor, wit, and sarcasm. Sounds a bit like me. The hyena personality is a jokester and crowd pleaser, but beneath the surface there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. Definitely sounds like me. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? Well, there you go. That's pretty obvious with those two cards, what we're talking about. So it's about letting down your mask and embracing spirituality. Very straightforward with that one today. Hey, how you going, Caitlin? You're walking and listening, so won't be typing much. Flick me an email later so I can give you my email address for our group. We'll get there. Okay. Oh, that one wants to come out. Oh, TikTok. So I'm getting your emails while I'm sitting here talking. That's too funny. Okay, TikTok. But I'm thinking of running the group a little bit earlier than what we are now. So I'm thinking of running the group maybe about 10 o'clock on the Saturday, which will be whatever time. So we're about 10, 11, 12, about 2.5 hours earlier than what we're doing the dailies mostly. Because of running the groups as well. So I've got a bit of a break between. Okay. 30. TikTok. It's time. Isn't it funny? Because it was time for the bear to come out of hibernation, the hyena to drop the mask, and now we have TikTok. So this is timelessness, divine timing, and immeasurable time. Ooh. When humans created time, everything changed and contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order were happening now in glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire. So release your agenda. Let go of your need to shape every moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them, right on time. I'm a great believer in that. I'm a great believer in the fact that it's what is yours will never be withheld from you. And I do hear people saying things like, if you don't act now, you won't have another chance and things like that. And I think then if you didn't have another chance, you weren't meant to have it in the first place. So that's my belief, that if you're doing what you needed to be doing, you're living the life that you're meant to be living, then why would anything be withheld from you unless it wasn't for you? And if it wasn't for you, well, then it would be withheld from you. So that's sort of, I don't know. Sometimes when I listen to people speak, I think, hang on a moment. If you're going to miss an opportunity, then the opportunity wasn't yours to start with. That's the way I see it. This group. We're going to do, Caitlin, I think you might have missed out on the last few conversations, but you're definitely included. We're going to have a God and Goddesses group, and we're going to do that in place of this group, but do it via a Zoom meeting so that we can all talk to each other. And I'm going to start that up over the next couple of weeks. So if you're interested, Yvonne Denise, all one word with 2017 @gmail.com. If you can't find that, just send it by the other email address and I'll flick it across. Hey Moira, how you going? So I think Moira might have been online yesterday when we were talking about the group. I'm trying to think of the best way to get you to, if you just email me and I'll work it out, but you'll get the email back from another email address. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to confuse it. I want to keep all the groups separate. I'm loving it. I'm getting emails from you guys while I'm sitting here. That's just too funny. Yeah, so the other thing I was thinking about was the karma thing, because somebody said the other day something about bad karma, and I was like, I don't think there's such a thing as bad karma. Karma is karma. I guess if you want to look at it bad, you could take it as bad, but karma is not meant to be good or bad. It's karma. So I think if you go and have a look at the 12 rules of karma, it's all about what you put in. Oh, look at me, glamorous. What you put in, you get out. That's basically what it's about. It's like the law of give and take, the law of being rewarded, the law. There's a whole stack of them that come under the heading of karma. And it may not work in the same way that people seem to think it does, you know. You kick my cat and someone else will come and kick your cat. It doesn't quite work like that. It's about balance. It's actually, the word karma is action. So the way it works is it's what you put into something. So if you're doing what you need to be doing, then you are rewarded for what you're doing. Whether I guess then you're not rewarded if you're not doing the right thing and people see that as bad karma, I guess that's the way to look at it. But it's about, yeah, it's about putting in and getting back, putting into the kitty and getting back what you've put in whatever way, shape or form. But yeah, I don't know why people sort of talk about karma. I just heard someone on the other day saying, oh, and if you don't do it, you get bad karma. And I was like, yeah, I really don't get that at all. But anyway, I just thought it was one of those things that sometimes I feel like I need to challenge. Yeah, it's like a magnet, but it's not particularly a bad thing. So it's just what you put in, you get out. It's a card of action. If you are doing good things for the universe and you're constantly putting good things, then the idea is that you get good things back again, but they may not come in the same shape or size made on, what you've put in. It's just the law of give and take. It's the law of reciprocation by the universe. It's just how it works out. But people sort of say things like, oh, don't worry, he'll get his karma. And I think, well, depends on what he's doing to get his own karma. Really, it doesn't come as a direct result of what someone's done to you. It doesn't work that way. You are not ancient. Hey, Gillian, how are you going? You are not ancient. You're not ancient at all. It's just that some words in our language, like I always talk about, and I think there are some words in our language that we use very, very poorly, and very, very negatively when they're not meant to be negative. So, when somebody, rejection's a word, failure is another one. They're all words that I've started to really challenge lately when I hear them, because I think that we tend to do them because we're used to hearing them. What is rejection? Is rejection someone pushing you away, or is someone pushing you away because they don't want you? That's not rejection. They're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the idea of something they want. That's not your problem. So people say all the time, oh, and you'll be rejected or somebody will reject you. And I think, well, no, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting their ideas of what you are. You don't have a part in that. So if you don't fit someone's idea of what you need to be, that's their choice, not yours. So why do we take the rejection upon ourselves? So I thought that was really interesting. Oh, that's all right, Caitlin. Hey, Scott, how you going? Yeah, failure was another one. Failure, that one really gets me, failure. Why do we call it failure? If we don't get it right, and we choose not to try again, have we failed, or have we chosen not to do it again? And I did talk about this before, because I talked about children getting up and walking. My littlest grandson he should have walked a long time ago, and he has no confidence in himself whatsoever. He'll walk around all day if he can hold on to your finger, but he won't do it. He'll only take 1 or 2 steps between the furniture. He won't just take off. And I thought, you know what? Some kids learn to walk so quickly, don't they? But how many times do they have to fall over before they get it right? Is that failure, or is that, just understanding it's part of the educational experience of learning how to do something? But it's not a failure. Oh golly, there's lots of stuff here. I know. It's really terrible, isn't it, Denise? I don't think anybody should be treated poorly in those situations. I don't quite get why people are treated so cruelly. And it's caused such a ruckus now, and it sort of becomes then a real problem, because it becomes more of a race war than even an issue with the police. It's almost like it gets I don't even know how to explain it. It gets really screwed up in the process. We have a policeman that treated somebody badly that needs to be punished. Full stop. That is not a representation of how everybody thinks about a race or a certain race. And it's terrible. And I see all the riots going on in America. I see all the riots against the anti-COVID thing and the staying home. And I keep thinking the poor health system in America is going to suffer so badly soon, because if there's so much of the virus around and it's just being spread everywhere and then everybody's getting sick, who's going to be around to help people? So it just blows me out. So with that stuff you've got on at the moment, it does my head in. I can't even watch it. It devastates me. I don't understand why they don't just pull the person out, the policeman out who did the damage, and put him up in front of everybody, because he's the one who needs to bear the shame of that. And it's terrible. It's really terrible. But that's what people don't do. It's really crazy. Yes, Susan, beautiful. What goes around comes around. That's exactly right. I'm just trying to see if I've missed any. Oh, Denise, that's really tough. If you're feeling it that hard, you need to work out how to have compassion, not empathy. You need to pop your empathy away. You can't use empathy under these circumstances. It's really devastating. But as I said, it just becomes, look how huge it's become. And we haven't addressed the real reason why it's all happened, which is the problem. So it becomes everybody's problem. And it's devastating. Yeah, I don't watch TV for that reason. And I agree with you, Jules. Yep, that's beautiful. Not failure. It's an opportunity to challenge yourself in creativity to where you're headed. That's exactly right. Yeah, I know. That's terrible, Gigi, isn't it? Everybody just coming in to stand on it. The governments and the commissions and people like that have got something to say here. They should have swept this up long before it became a problem. And it's really harsh. Yeah, I can't watch it either. See, a tinderbox just needs a spark. It's so true. And then it becomes a race war. And it becomes about people being hateful towards each other. And that is not right. So one person, again, has sparked up this complete revolt, or whatever you'd like to call it, through doing something really, really bad. It's terrible. He's in jail, and so he should be. He shouldn't do that to anybody. He is a complete abuse of your position. Now, I get it. Police get a hard time. I've watched them here in Australia, where people are attacking them and throwing things at them, and the police are trying to do their job the right way. So I know they have a hard time. but there is never a reason to over push that. There's an anger issue there for him. Under 6 p.m. curfew. Yeah. Oh, that's out of control. Yep, sort of. Yeah, it is a distraction. Half the time I wonder if the government does that to distract everybody from the real things that are going on. It's usually when they start to pass laws in the Senate or whatever you do in the US. Here, they're phenomenal for it. They create some big smoke screen and everybody's all up in air about the smoke screen. And meanwhile, they're making all these new sort of legislative arrangements and nobody knows about it. I'm getting too political. Yep, good idea, Jules. Listen to music. Too much ego. Yeah, we don't have a good balance in the system. I was talking to, because we're frontline workers, same as a lot of people are. The only thing is I'm not in the front line, even though I'm still working. But we've all had all our pays, all our pay rises stopped for 12 months now to cope with the changes. Now, for me, I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue. If I can do something that's worthwhile, then that's fine by me. But don't stop all the people, all the nurses, all the welfare people, all got their wages stopped too. So there's no pay rises for anybody. And I don't think that's right at all. We fight for years to get pay rises, and then the government goes, well, we're not giving them to you now because we've had to spend all this money to keep the economy going. Well, that doesn't seem very fair, does it? Yeah, Stacey, I agree with you. It becomes a race war, pitting us against each other. And that's what I find really difficult, because it doesn't matter who's been treated badly. It doesn't matter. It's the person that matters. This is what it really comes down to. Well, I've done some peaceful protests too and kept my clothes on. I've done a few for when I was in youth work. We were on like $9 an hour. We were paid under everybody in the whole of Australia, poor money for being a youth worker. And we got it increased by, I think, $2 or $3 at the time. Yeah, exactly right. Hi, Nikki, how you going? Oh, yeah, we don't do personal questions on here. We just do we're all on for a bit of a chit chat. So, and we just have a bit of a chat about whatever comes our way. It's just fun time. It was really only the reason that we decided to do this was because everybody was sort of stuck at home. Nobody sort of, some people didn't have any contact with the outside world, and I sort of got the call to, do something every day to keep everybody in touch with each other, and we've had so much fun. Hey, Shirla, how you going? So I'm not going to ask, because if I answer a personal question for you, then I have to answer a personal question for all the other people on here, and that just wouldn't be right. Yeah, I agree with you, Scott. I think that's absolutely. Yeah, I think he's actually more than a narcissist, Denise, but I won't talk any more about that online. Yeah, I agree with you, Susan. What happened to the other people there? Like, if I was working with someone that was taking their authority out of context, yes, I'd do the same thing, even if it meant just pulling them aside for a moment, saying, "Hey, buddy, you're taking that a little bit too far." And I have spoken up against co-workers when they've been unreasonable, and pulled them away from things when they've not been. Even in the pubs, when I worked in hospitality, my goodness, we were always breaking up fights in pubs. So I don't quite understand why people think that they can just stand back. And then I think, well, maybe this guy was in himself dangerous for some reason. Maybe people didn't want to confront him. Maybe. Yeah, I agree. It's all aiding and abetting, isn't it, really? Yeah. And that's what I went a bit quiet, Lauren, because I've done it a few times on here. I've got a little bit passionate about things, and I keep hearing about people having their YouTube channels taken away and being taken off YouTube because they've been outspoken. So, yeah, I think sometimes it's a bit sad that we don't get to talk about stuff, but it's true. You do get it. They have systems to pick up on what you're talking about. And that's always true too, Jane. We don't always know what happened before. I agree with you, but I also agree that perhaps the levels of doing things perhaps sometimes are not good. Like, I don't agree with some ways of restraining people, but I think if people are hitting or punching the police, there should be some way or some sort of response they have as a group to protect each other. It becomes really very, very sort of clumsy and complex because, you know, everybody has a right and you're not really sure who has what right. So I guess when you take on the position of working in a place where you're dealing with people who are aggressive or angry, the chances are pretty good that you're going to become targeted by them. And then it becomes a bit of an argument. But at the end of the day, there is such a thing as too much force, and that's where the problem lies. And of course, we've seen it a couple of times where it's come to the forefront, but I wonder how many times that it's happened in the US where we haven't seen it. And unfortunately, when it does come to the forefront, it's much more controversial because of what has happened or somebody taping it or whatever else. I saw I've seen some people firsthand and what they've done. And then I think, you know, if you don't sort of see the full story, it's hard sometimes to understand if someone's taken it from their perspective too. But at the end of the day, let's hope they handle it okay. Hey, Sarah, how are you going? Yeah, that's right. At the end of the day, that was still too much force. Yeah. Oh, did they? Yeah, they were sort of really, they're really, oh, that's my phone. Hello, Siri. I don't want to. I don't want to talk right now. Thank you. Yeah, they were really tough readings this morning. I sort of got off a little bit and I thought, there's so much still, it's almost like we keep hearing the same thing over and over. And I think the trouble is, some of these readings now could be still months away and we're going to still hear them all up until that time. And I sometimes, when I've got a bit of time, might listen to some other readers and they're all saying the same things and it blows me away. So hopefully it's not too far away from you. There you go, Susan. I planted some Brussels sprouts today. I love Brussels sprouts. I hated them as a child because I had to eat them. But as an adult, I know how to cook them now so that they're really delicious. And they are very, very delicious. So I'm glad you planted some Brussels sprouts. I've been really busy today. They culled. We're on a special project. And there's quite a lot of us on this project. And they decided that the project should finish at the end of May. And it didn't. It was just too big. So they still took half the people out. So we've been slammed this morning. So we've still got to do the work. And I sat there this morning and chucked a bit of a wobbler and then called one of the girls I work with and had a bit of a spit and spew. And then got into the work anyway because I know I have to do it. I have no choice. So this was sort of like a welcome retreat coming for lunch here. Give Siri my email. I should, shouldn't I? That's my phone talking this time, not the iPad. Neither of them on. Yeah, I asked for the meaning of life and she started giving me the rundown on the Monty Python movie. There you go. So what I do with my Brussels sprouts is I fry them up with a little bit of ham speck and a bit of nutmeg. Yum. Chocolate's must. Chocolate's part of the diet, isn't it? Isn't that what we're supposed to eat? Chocolate? I don't know. I try not to eat chocolate all the time, but I'd still do. But for some unknown reason, it shrinks my clothes. Someone said the other day. Ask Siri why the chicken crossed the road. Actually, somebody asked me or told me something to ask last time with the Siri thing. And I don't even know how to get to Siri. That's what blows me out. I've never used Siri on here, I don't think. Anybody know how to get to Siri on the iPhone 11? Anyway, but somebody said something just then. So for those of you who missed out on the beginning of the live, if you're interested in joining the Zoom group when I get it up, and no, that doesn't have a button on the iPhone 11. No buttons. Is it on the Siri? Siri? No. I'll work it out. Hold the center button. No, there's no center button. There are no buttons on the iPhone 11. Hey Siri. Oh. I'm listening. You're listening. Thank you. And what was I going to ask? Oh, thank you very much. You're very polite. What did you ask me? Oh, why did the chicken cross the road? Hello, Siri. Now you're not going to talk. Hello, Siri. Hello, Siri. See? No. Ask if there is a God. We've tried all these things. They all come up. He comes up with some fabulous answers, but I don't know. Hello, Siri. Hello, Siri. Hello, Siri. Hello, Siri. See, he talks to me when I don't want to talk to him. I was going to say typical man. Scott, close your ears. He doesn't talk to me when I need him to talk to me, apparently. Siri is Googling it. Oh, that's too funny. I tried Hey Siri. It won't work. Look. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. The iPad's going now. Why did the chicken cross the road? Well, there you go. So apparently he's not pugnacious about the peregrinations of poultry. What does that mean? Ah, too funny. Losing your ears. Yes, well, it's funny because we were going to have start our Zoom group up soon. So if you're interested in coming on for the Zoom group, because I'm only joining everybody by membership, please email me at yvonnedenise2017@gmail.com. And if you forget that email address, you'll have to come back and watch this again. And I'll send out something to everybody the same, asking for your reasons as to why you want to get on there. No, that's what I said. Siri doesn't care at this point. It just is something that's going on at the moment. I have no idea. So I've got Siri answering me on the iPad, and I've not even been near the iPad, and the phone won't talk to me. I don't know what's going on. So many roads, so many chickens. Can we look this up? Maybe the chicken is standing still and the road is crossing under it. So it has different ways of answering that. Hey, Siri. Why did the chicken cross the road? I am not perspicacious about the peregrinations of poultry. I'm not perspicacious about the peregrinations of poultry. And what else did you ask me to say? Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. I've got both of them going now. Oh, stop. That's too funny. Well, there you go. Siri has left the building. Our own counsellor was always the best. Somebody told me to ask what the meaning of life was. That's what it was. I know then Monty Python came up. What else did you ask me to say? And Denise said, Siri said, because the little chicken light turned green. I didn't realise he had lots of different answers. That's too funny. The chicken took an Uber. Hitchhiking, or chook hiking, because we call them chooks in Australia. But anyway, so when we do once we get the Zoom group up and running, you'll just have a repeat invitation, and then you can join whenever you want to. And I guess I think that we'll have to see how we do the videos and that. to see how to go. It's really funny because I'd been sick over the weekend and I had some really terrible night's sleep. Because Friday night I was running a really high temperature, so I didn't sleep very much at all Friday night. And then Saturday night I was so tired. Do you know what my sleep's like? I talk about it often. So I haven't really been focusing so much. I did a meditation this morning for the first time, but the last couple of days it's been hard to meditate because of my chest. Is there a God in the computer? Replied, there is now. Very good. Take your jacket off. Oh no. Poor Caitlin. Poor Caitlin. I'm still getting emails from you. The Secret Society of Chinwaggers, I like that. We ended up yesterday with this big long name, and because we said, oh, we'll call it the Goddess Channel, and then we thought, well, Scott's was on here, so we have to call it God and Goddesses, and then it was Golden Gods and Goddesses, and then we liked the word gang, so I thought we'd just call it the G Gang, I think. No jokes about G-spots or anything, no, maybe that's not a good thing. Yeah, the Aussie Goddess Gang. Yeah, I wanted to keep the Aussie bit out of it because I thought, well, you're not all Aussies. So we could call it the Universal G Gang or whatever. But anyway, yeah, Scott's got big. He's our token comic relief, I'd like to think. So we're not being sexist in any way. But no, it's been very quiet. I haven't really had many chats. I haven't done a lot of readings the last couple of days. I did the weekly readings yesterday. Did everybody see their weekly readings? Sarah, you're way too much like me. I just went straight over the top of it as soon as it came out of my white mouth. I was like, yeah, I probably should have said that. Oh, you are special, Scott. You're a special lad. Yeah, so the weeklies. So everybody enjoyed the weeklies. There were some really, really good readings in there. I still haven't got around. I was going to do the monthlies on the June readings on the weekend, and of course, because I got so out of whack, not doing very much on Saturday, other than watching a couple of movies, I didn't get around to doing the June one. Very good, Karen. How are you going? Yeah, I just thought that every one of the readings I did was just really amazing. They were really, really amazing. Sarah, you've got to stop pointing things out. Scott knows he's special. Yeah, so I'll get the June readings done one day this week. I've got so much to do this week, but I'll get there. And then we've got our first class on Saturday. So oh, poor Scott. Oh, Scott can take it. I can tell you, he can give it out as good as he can take it, believe me. Yeah, so we start the classes this Saturday. So it'll be, yeah, see, special like that, Sarah. Yeah, classes start on Saturday for those of you who are enrolled on Saturday. And I've sent the invitations out for the second group now. So I've started the process for the second group. And then hopefully soon I'll get this part-time done and I can start to see how to better place my week. Yeah, I'm interested to see what goes on in June because Moira's on today. Moira's our astrologer extraordinaire. There are three eclipses in the next few weeks, and somebody sent me something through. Who was it? Come on, you guys. One of you guys sent me something through that you'd picked up on a page. Might have been Jane. Talking about what's going to happen over the next few weeks with the three eclipses. I wish I was a bit more up on astrology. That's why I was trying to see if Moira was still in the room, but she may have left. That sounds like fun, Karen. The eclipses, yeah, they were pretty potent things. The first one I think is in Sagittarius and will have a big impact on I'll have to have a look. If I could get the it was you, Jane. Do you have it in front of you? maybe I can find it here. Hang on 2 seconds. Jane. Okay, I found it. So on June the 3rd is the rebirth of Venus, a powerful day for setting heart relationship intentions. So if you want to set intentions, June the 3rd's the day to do that. June the 5th, Sagittarius full moon eclipse. That's about standing your ground, claiming your power and emotional breakthroughs, which is what the cards keep talking about. On June the 17th, we have a Mercury retrograde in Cancer, and words carry heightened meaning. So they say you've got to be really careful how you respond to things, because you may say things that you don't really mean, or say things without thinking about them. So it's very much that sort of energy with Cancer. The solstice, new moon, solar eclipse in Cancer, and the start of Cancer season is on June the 20th to the 21st, which means new beginnings for everybody. On June the 22nd, we have a Neptune retrograde, and that's about your truth. So it's bringing forth your truth. So you're going to start really opening up to who you are. June 24th, 25th, Venus direct, clarity when it comes to love. So I feel like a lot of big things happening in June. On June the 27th, Mars enters Aries, and it will be retrograde. And June 29th, the second Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, money is on the mind. So towards the end of June, it will be about money. Days to really watch out for in there, though. June the 17th, watch if you're having words with anybody, and June 20th and 21st, because there's new beginnings there. So yeah, that's June in a nutshell. It is going to be a very big month. Okay, let me just read some of these. So that's how they'll have an impact, Lauren, if that helps. But you can look into them a bit more. That's just an overview. Thanks for sending that through, Jane. Yeah, Sagittarius. With the eclipses, I think it depends on what house Sagittarius falls into to find out what part of your life, if I remember rightly, how it's going to affect you. Susan asked me, how long do I meditate for? In the morning, I usually do a 20-minute meditation. So I just usually do something just to lift my energy and start me off with a bit of a kickstart. If I can get time to meditate during the day, that's when I will do anything that will really bring stuff up for me. And if I do a meditation at night, I'll do a sleep meditation and do something like working with my chakras or something that I can sleep to, nothing that's going to stimulate me. But if I'm doing an intentional meditation, I'll do something that might, like the inner child work, or working on my deep-seated fears or something like that. I'll go for it. I'll dig in during the day. Oh, that sounds really cool. The summer solstice ceremony from Stonehenge, powerful energy. Big month. Yep, sure is. Yeah, thank you for that, Jane. Yeah, moving out of Capricorn and Cancer. Yeah, that's been a big time, isn't it? For Capricorns, having a huge year. Capricorns had everything going on in their sign this year. I'm like, I don't really think we've missed out on anything. Very nice, Sarah. Burst into song there. Just give you the money, Gillian. That's what you're worried about. I sort of like a little bit of both. I like a little bit of money, but a lot of love. North and South nodes are Sag and Gemini. Big time for you. Yes, very much so. It's all very interesting, though, isn't it? The Stonehenge thing's fascinated me. Due to some of my heritage, I did DNA testing a couple of years ago now, and I'm 6% Viking. It's the most proudest moment of my life, finding out I'm 6% Viking. Norwegian Viking, by the way. I also have 6% African blood. So I think I've got half Mali and half somewhere else too. So that was quite interesting. So if you ever get a chance to have your DNA done, it really is quite enlightening. I understand that we all have African blood. I have quite a lot, though, which was really bizarre, but I didn't realize I had Viking. I was pretty proud of that. I love the idea of that. You sang with Gillian too. 5'11", red in your hair and blue eyes. Do you have Viking blood like me, though? I'm 6% Viking blood. So I don't know. England was absolutely, the southern part of England where I was born was pillaged by the Vikings. And if you ever watched the series The Vikings, or what those Viking shows, they always talk about the southern part of England. A lot of the names in the southern part are Viking names, or names that were sort of after the Vikings, Saxons, and all the other people that raped and pillaged England. So I'm surprised I don't have more different heritage, but the Viking part's cool. Red hair came from the Vikings. Actually, it would be really interesting. Would be interesting to watch the Stonehenge thing. Oh yeah, my uncle, my mum's brother, has traced us back to 12th century England, but because of my heritage on my father's side, I don't really know very much at all. I got a little bit of information, but not a lot. So it's very, very interesting. But yeah, a huge proportion, obviously, of English. I think I had like 77%, and then the rest came in everywhere else. So it's really interesting, though. Yeah, so I was pretty proud of that. No gatherings at Stonehenge due to restrictions is online for everyone. We'll get a link in a minute. Beautiful. I thought it was really funny here. I don't know if you'd be quite as fascinated about this as I was. I don't really know how political parties work out the restrictions. So my very, very good friend wrote to me this morning. It's her mum's birthday on Monday, and she said, how many people can we have at home for a celebration? And I said to her, I think it's moved to 10, but I will check. So no, you can only have 5 people at home for a celebration. But if you go out for dinner, you can have 10. And if you go out to a restaurant, you can have 50. So I'm not really sure why that is. It really bluffed me. So you still can only have 5 people at home. And I know that you've still got a social distance. Even if you're out for dinner or in a restaurant, there still has to be social distancing. But I can't understand how only 5 people are at home. So, I mean, if you've got 3 or 4 children and 2 adults, that's it. If you're inviting them home, they can't even bring their partners with them. So it's sort of like really weird. I can't quite work out the thinking on that. Oh, Susan, 40 years. Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's a fair beginnings. Yeah, there's some great places in England, Sarah, isn't there? You know, some of the stone carvings in the hills and that, because I come from Brighton, so like the Downs and all around that area is fabulous. We used to go bushwalking all the time when we were kids, but some fantastic. I never had the chance to go to Scotland. I hope that one day I get there. Summer solstice for us is December the 21st. Wow. And Karen said she hopes the link works. Winter solstice. Yeah, I think we've gone. Yeah, we would be going into winter solstice then, wouldn't we? If it's December, it must be in June sometime, I would imagine. Yes, congratulations, 40 years. That's a pretty long time, I must say. Brighton, yeah. I was born in Brighton and I moved to Crawley. So if you know where Crawley is, it's about midway between London and Brighton. I lived in Crawley for many years. Crawley was a satellite city, so it was built to put industry there and to grow with a lot of young people. So it was pretty small when I was a kid. It's huge now. It's huge. Last time I went back, I could hardly recognize anything. It was so bizarre. Moira, here she comes. Look, December the 21st is a huge date for astrology. Jupiter conjunct Saturn in Aquarius on the solstice. Oh, are you, Caitlin? Norwegian background too. There you go. Yeah, it's 6%. But as I said, that doesn't surprise me because I know that the southern part of England was ravaged and pillaged and whatever by the Vikings because they wanted the land and it was rich, apparently very rich land. So it still is in England. Like people seem to think it's sort of very highly inhabited, but all the people live in the cities. So there's a lot of countryside. Worcestershire, famous for its needle. Oh, Sarah, yawn. Reddish Worcestershire, yeah, because we were talking about Worcestershire the other day because I heard someone from the States called it Worcestershire and I said it's Worcestershire. Like, no, Worcestershire. No, it's Worcestershire. It's the way it's pronounced. Newlands come from northern Norway, so you would have nice lot of Viking blood in you then, which is really cool. Yeah, it's good fun having your DNA done. It was well worth the money paid for it. Wessex was the Vikings' favoured prize. I was from Sussex, so we weren't far away. I'm not sure that with some of those Viking practices that I would have been, happy to be around in those days, but I did love the way they treated their women because their women were equal and fought alongside of them, which was pretty amazing. English Heritage Facebook page will live stream it on June the 21st. There you go. Can't wait for the borders in Australia to open up so you can come to Adelaide and get a face-to-face reading. I have been watching the numbers because we've had the last couple of days, I'm pretty sure, we've had no new cases of coronavirus in New South Wales, right? But what's blowing me out is it's gone a bit crazy in Victoria. So health. Okay, so there was no live cases yesterday in New South Wales for the first time. So in Australia, we have had total cases 7,195. Total cases recovered 6,614. So we've still got around about 600 people sick. Total deaths 103. New cases in the last 24 hours is 12. 3 in New South Wales again. Okay, we had none yesterday. And 6 in Victoria. All the other states stay clear still. New South Wales was clear yesterday, so I was very excited. So I think people are traipsing between states. I don't think I don't think they can really watch everybody. We had one in New South Wales that was from Queensland. Yeah, and they're not supposed to be going across the borders. So I don't know how they're going to stop people from going state to state. That's just impossible, isn't it? There's too many roads for the police to police. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, 10 in Western Australia, but I don't think you've had a new case of COVID for a couple of weeks in Western Australia. I think it's been pretty clear. See, the thing is with COVID is some people don't have symptoms. They have nothing. And that woman who infected the nursing home here in New South Wales, she said she had a runny nose. So, if you're like that, and I mean, my nose runs all the time from hay fever. So how are you to know what you're passing on to other people? Unless you're respectful and just treat everybody like you're sick. Yeah, I think we've done very well in Australia. I didn't think so to start off with. I was really annoyed because they kept letting people off the cruise ships, and I was like, without checking. If we hadn't have done that, we would have had very few cases whatsoever. But yeah, Victoria is still getting quite a few cases down there. Sarah, you're a shocker. You're a shocker. I like Corona too. Anyway, I'm going to go. I better get back to work. Very nice to talk to you all. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Enjoy your day, whatever you've got planned. Now, as I said, in New South Wales, you're going to have go and see the beautician if you want to. Much love to you all. Mwah.